Hi guys, it's Vincent, and like usual, it's been a little while since I posted last. I am so sorry for that. I've just been incredibly busy, I've been doing a lot of stuff, all good things though, and a lot has changed in the meantime. My background's different. If you hate it, I'm sorry, I can't film there anymore because my desk is there. But anyways, as most of you know, or as you can probably guess from the title, I am transgender, and I have recently gotten my top surgery. They're gone. It's the best decision I made in my entire life. I could not be happier with it. Life is just so good, man. But throughout the lead up to my surgery, I made some videos logging how I felt, and I felt like it would just be a good idea to compile it on a video for myself to be able to look back on. But then I realized that maybe, I don't know if it will, my experience will be helpful for other people as well. So this video is just gonna be me kind of talking about the preparations for my surgery, the healing, the surgery itself, just everything to do with my top surgery. This is gonna be very specific to my experiences, but maybe just having a look into how I felt and what I did could be helpful to someone. And I think if I could help even just one trans person who's currently stressing out about their top surgery, that would make me more than happy. Because I know I was panic watching top surgery videos before mine, because I was like, am I doing it right? What are the preparations? What do I need to do? What is gonna happen? And it's just a lot. I was really nervous. So if making this stupid video will help, I'd be very glad to do so. And otherwise, it's just a fun little thing for me to look back on. All right, let's just start with how I got my top surgery date in the first place. This is gonna really differ per country, but I'm just talking about my experiences here in the Netherlands. So basically, it's the same thing as with my testosterone. I had gender therapy for quite a while. They gave me my gender dysphoria diagnosis, and then I started T, and then after being on T for half a year, I was allowed to get my top surgery. I personally had to contact my surgeon myself. I chose for Dr. Van Luna. However, she had quite a waiting list. So I contacted her a little bit before my 6 months on T, and then I heard that I could have my top surgery somewhere in January. I was like, great, that's perfect, everything's awesome. So I call them back, and they're like, no, we didn't mean January, we meant March. I'm excited for March, but they were gonna call me back. So they didn't call me back in the time period they said they would, so I call them again. Yeah, no, we meant June. And this was just a continuous thing until I called them again in, I think it was September. I called them in September, I'm like, hey, what's the deal here? And they're like, oh, yeah, so we're completely full. We're definitely gonna plan you in 2024 somewhere. And I'm like, well, fuck me. I'm waiting for so long and I'm going insane. I knew I wanted top surgery before I wanted testosterone. Like, I'm just kind of disappointed. And like every phone call, I was just crying because I was like, you keep telling me I'm gonna finally obtain this thing I've been wanting for so long, and it's just gonna keep being ripped away. So I was like, okay, it's fine. I'm gonna wait till 2024. But they told me, because you call so often, because I was being an annoying little shit, we're gonna just put you on a list, and if anyone isn't able to make their top surgery anymore, you can have their date. And I'm like, you know what? Lit. I was still not expecting earlier than like January, February, even March 2024, but I was accepting it. We move, whatever. I kind of even forget they made the point that maybe I can get someone else's date. Anyways, mid-October rolls around and I get a phone call. I'm like, hey, I don't recognize this number. So I pick up and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I was confused. And they're like, oh, hello, it's top surgery people. We have a date for you. You available November 20th? I'm like, the fuck you? That's in less than a month. And I'm like, sure, fuck it. I probably have time. Go for it. Chop my tits off. I'll drop anything.
I got called today that my top surgery is going to be in literally 34 days, so that's happening. And I feel like this is kind of falling into the same category as me starting T. It's something I looked forward so often, but also got moved so often that I don't know what to feel anymore. Like, I've been sobbing because it got moved 5 times, and now it's here, and I don't know how to feel, and I don't know, I think I'm just filming this to, be honest with how I feel regarding this, because I don't know, it's a weird feeling, where before starting T, I was genuinely doubting my gender, because I was feeling this exact same way, where my friends would, congratulate me, and then some other people from, like, my family were like, oh, are you really sure, is this not going to be a big mistake, or, this forever, so there were 2 really big sides of the coin, and it's still kind of the same, even with top surgery, where my friends are like, oh my god, congratulations, this and that, and some other people are showing, no excitement to maybe even a slight hint of don't do this, and I hate both sides. I weirdly don't like the congratulating. I don't know, it makes me feel weird. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. This is very weird. I obviously want this. I've been wanting this. I still want this. But there's just, I don't know, there's just a certain sense of emptiness and numb, it's a numb feeling regarding this that I cannot describe. It's gonna be a whole new phase of my life. And I don't know how to feel about it.
Right after I put the phone down, I realized how urgent it is that I make preparations for this shit. Because I have nothing. I need post-op binders. I just need to buy a bunch of shit as preparation for my surgery. I need to find travel back and forth from the surgery place. I need a place to stay after the surgery. I need to cancel work for an extended period of time and hopefully still get paid throughout that time. And I have less than a month. So first thing I do is I call up my mom. I'm like, Mom, can you drive me here? This is the deal. She's like, okay, King, sure, whatever. I make sure I can stay at my uncle for a week. I make sure I have all the things. I order everything immediately, which I'm never on top of things this fast. But I was like, this is happening, and I'm making it happen. I tell work I won't be there for 1.5 months, because most of the time they say for top surgery, like, you need 6 weeks to fully rest, like 6 weeks until you can do everything again. And I took that as, these fuckers, my work doesn't know anything about trans things. I'm just telling them I can't work for 6 weeks. Even though you're kind of able to do most things after like 3 weeks. I was like, I'm not risking it. If I can't do everything, I won't do anything. So I told them 6 weeks, I won't be there. Which was perfect because it was through the holidays. It was through New Year's. It was through Christmas. I didn't have to work all the busy days. And then I was back on the work floor and they were like, careful with me because I still couldn't lift much. Anyways, not the point. I fixed everything really fast and it was really scary, and sizes are also a thing with post-op binders. I couldn't figure out my size because it had to fit me after top surgery. A lot of people online also say like, oh, don't worry about the post-op binder's size. If it fits you now, it will fit you after surgery. I say no. I say that doesn't work because I didn't have a small chest. If you have a small chest, maybe, sure. I had to make sure this shit fit around me, but also when I still have my bahonkadonkers, that shit wouldn't close. Like, it had to be tight enough for a post-op binder, and it also had to, you know, I don't know. If it fits you before surgery, that's not a guarantee it fits you after, something I learned really fast. Because after my surgery, my post-op binders didn't fit. I had to really fast reorder them, and luckily the website I ordered them from had like a 1-day delivery time, but I got really lucky with that because they did not fit at all. Anyways, back to the chronological timeline. For what the actual preparations entailed, I basically ignored every single website or video I saw. Like a lot of people say, get a pregnancy pillow so you can lay on it or whatever. I was like, fuck no, I have no money. So I would recommend getting like a big pillow or something to keep you up. But I don't say a pregnancy pillow or a lot of pillows is necessary. I had my Jungles Cog. This fucker carried me. Like, I could not fall asleep if he wasn't laying on top of me. Because that's another thing. You need to sleep on your back. I can't sleep on my back. Fuck no. I can't sleep on my back again now. Like, it's not that I got used to it. I had to put this thing and multiple other plushies on top of me because even if I was in so much pain because I was moving, I still would just roll to my side because my sleepy head is stubborn, and even if I'm in pain, I'm gonna lay on my side. So I just literally had to trap myself with plushies to do this shit. So if you're a person who lays on their side, maybe do that. Get a bunch of plushies or get a bunch of pillows. Jungles Cog, big recommend. That thing carried me. Other than that, obvious things like post-op binders, you need. A lot of surgeons do provide them, but the surgeon I went with specifically didn't, so maybe check up what they provide for you. Another few things is you're not allowed to smoke or drink or do a lot of things before your surgery as well. Like, I think there's a 6-week period that you're not allowed to smoke. My surgeon didn't tell me this. I live, though, like, drinking and stuff, I didn't really take into account. I slept like a week or 2 weeks before. But it can fuck with your results, especially the smoking thing can really fuck with your results, and also after. You should just not drink or smoke or do any of that shit for quite a while until you're, like, actually recovered. Which was surprisingly easy for me. I thought I'm gonna miss parties and stuff, but it was doable. Other than that, I honestly just make sure to have a lot of entertainment, because boredom is gonna be your worst enemy through recovery, because you can't do shit. Your arms, you can't move them. So make sure you have something to do. I think I just have my laptop with me and a laptop table, and that honestly survives for most of it. I had my Switch, I had books, I had a Lego set, I had so much to do, which requires so little movement. So make sure you have things, objects, and also make sure to place all your stuff on a lower thing, because I have like a cupboard with my toothbrushes and everything up high. make sure to move all that shit down before your surgery, because you will not be able to reach that, and if you can, that shit will hurt. Low. Put everything low. And then last but not least, painkillers, obviously. Most of the time your surgeon will provide you with like stronger painkillers, at least mine did, and then on the side I was allowed paracetamol, so I just stocked up with a bunch of paracetamol, being like, eventually I will stop feeling things. And that's kind of all I got. A lot of people have like longer lists of things you really need, but I think these are like the essentials. And also, probably make sure, if you're like me and you live on your own, to have someone that can care for you, because I would not be able to do most of the things I had to do on my own. Like, I could take my own clothes off to get into my pajamas or anything, but that was it. That was about it. Moving my hand to brush my teeth was already a lot. And showering, washing your hair, you can't do it. You just can't. I'd really recommend just making sure someone is there to care for you, because it's rough if you try to do this on your own, especially like the first 3 days. That's probably a no-go. And then the actual date of my surgery was coming closer. And honestly, I could not be more grateful that they told me less than a month before my surgery that I was gonna have surgery. Because I was going mental that month. Like, every day was just me being like, oh, this many days until my surgery. And every day I would have no motivation to do anything, because I would do it after top surgery. Because the most important thing right now is top surgery. And it was all I could think about. And this is probably just my brain, but it's something I was so focused on. Like, I cannot do anything else until this has happened. Like, I'm just in an in-between phase. Nothing else matters. I just need to wait. Once this month is over, I can start living as a person again. Like, that's how far I got. So I'm super, like, happy that I didn't know it, like, 3 months in advance or half a year in advance. Because that would have just been, like, half a year of me throwing my life away, because I would just be so focused on getting surgery. And again, this is most likely not anyone else, just me. But it was just a thing that I was really, like, fucked up over.
Notice this one thing, which I've been trying to make a video about for, like, a good few days, but I keep postponing it because I don't want to talk about it. But here you go. For the past 2 weeks, I've been very out of it. Like, I have the tendency to not, like, feel real or whatever, but for the past 2 weeks, it's been so heightened. I've been so out of it, and normally I try to fight it and be like, no, I'm trying to do anything I can to just make my brain chill. But at this point, I'm like, I'm just gonna let my brain be my brain until after surgery, because there's no point. Because I'm in such, like, a state of in-between things that I'm like, I can wait the 5 more days to feel, like, mentally healthy. So, I don't know, it's very weird. It's a weird experience, and I don't really know how to explain it. It's just, I don't know. It feels like my entire life is on hold right now. Since, like, I got the news that I was getting my surgery, it feels like everything has been on hold until, like, you know, this specific day. And I can't really do anything until this specific day. And it's annoying. I don't know how to feel. I just hope everything will be better in, like, a week from now.
And then there's another thing I had before my top surgery, which I didn't mention to a single living soul, because as much as I looked on the internet as well, I couldn't find a single other person who had this experience. Because I was so scared. And I don't just mean nervous for, having a surgery. I mean, I was scared to the point that I was having doubts about my gender again. So I was looking online to see if anyone felt the same way. I even posted about it myself, I'm pretty sure. And most people were saying, oh, don't do it. Or it was stories about detransitioners who were like, oh, I felt this way before surgery, and now I regret it. Like, I immediately regretted it after surgery. And I'm like, fuck, am I one of these people? And I just kept reading things, and they honestly made me more scared, because it was all just like, don't get surgery if you're this scared. Or like, doubts are normal, but if they're this bad, and mine were that bad, don't do it. So I just got, I shut down. I was like, I'm not telling a living soul about this, because they're going to tell me to not get it. If I tell my gender therapist, they're just going to not allow me to get it anymore. If I tell my family, they're going to tell me I'm not even trans. Like, I was so fucking scared. And it was honestly a terrifying month, because, again, it was something where I kept my life on hold, but at the same time, I was so terrified of this thing I was going to get, because as much as I wanted them gone more than anything, it is a surgery, and it is very irreversible. And I know testosterone is also irreversible, but it was just a more slow process, where with top surgery, you go to bed and poof, the thing is done. So it's, it was a scary thing. But luckily, I have started T. And with T, I felt the exact same way. And once I realized that I was feeling the exact same way as before T, it honestly calmed me down. Because testosterone is another thing I kept logging, so I have videos of myself talking about me before T. So I realized while watching those that I felt the exact same way. I was super scared. I was doubting my gender. Everything was just super scary, and I was just, I don't know, terrified of everything. Terrified of not being trans. Terrified of making a wrong decision. And it's another thing that I could find nothing about because I was so fucking scared. And I don't see many people talking about that. But after starting it, after just making that leap, because I was sure about my gender, like, anywhere before that, like, before I got a set date for T, before I got a set date for top surgery, I was so certain. So it's just starting this thing that made me scared. So I just made the leap. And I have not been happier. And then even a year on T, being so scared that I am, you know, I'm wrong about being trans is insane. Like, it was just insane because I was so happy, and, like, someone calling me a woman would fucking make me cry. Like, I'm very sure, I'm very, like, certain of myself. So it was just the fact that this thing that I've been wanting for so long was getting nearer that I probably was just really scared. And I did talk about that in a few of my logs as well, as I can show.
An interesting thing I've noticed is I'm still not sure about my gender. And honestly, at this point, I think I might be non-binary. But also, I don't really care that much anymore. So maybe it's me getting more comfortable because of testosterone or whatever. But I'm really scared about that small little chance that I was just wrong. But that would also make, like, for more questions. Because then what the fuck was going on, right? Because, like, my 14-year-old self didn't randomly want to be called he, him. My 14-year-old self didn't randomly cry because some dude's chest was flatter than his. Like, I don't know. Gender is weird, and I think I should put it out there that even after this long of having started T, that I am still questioning. I feel like it should have been said. So I did. It should be said, and I did. There we go. I don't know. Gender is weird, but it's fine because I am mostly comfortable.
But after also seeing myself before T being just as scared, and knowing how happy I am on T, I was like, fuck it. I'm making the leap. I'm doing it. So I didn't tell a single soul. I just went in being terrified as shit. Just telling my doctor I'm terrified as shit. And we move. And I'm the happiest I've ever been.
I am very scared. I'm very, very scared. But I got called by my doctor, or like the assistant of the doctor, whatever. I got called by someone regarding my self-surgery. And at the end of the call, it was just to check on my information stuff. And at the end of the call, she goes, "So, how are you feeling regarding this?" And I just go, scared. So nervous. And I just think, this is why I want to film this. I just think it was so cute. Because she was like, "Oh, no, just be excited. It's so fun. I'm so happy for you." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's still surgery." And she's like, "Yeah, but the surgeon has done this so many times. And, you know, it's all fun. I'm so excited for you." And it was just the sweetest interaction. And she was like, "Yeah, no, the surgeon will calm you down. You know, it's fine. This is, she's done this plenty of times." It's just, I don't know. It really weirdly calmed my nerves regarding something I find genuinely really terrifying. Because it's not that big a deal. It's not. It's something I've been excited for years, and I should not just suddenly start being scared because it's a big thing in my head. I don't know. I mean, it is a surgery, but, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. I'm happy. I'm truly, really happy that it's finally here. I'm less nervous, less scared. Still a little bit, obviously, but mostly excited now. That call was really sweet. And right after that, my someone from work called me to fix things for my surgery, so everything's falling into place and everything is being settled right before this, so god damn it, I'm excited. Very excited.
A disclaimer though, this is not me saying like, oh, if you really don't want top surgery, get top surgery. This is just my experiences, and I really haven't found a single other person that said anything about feeling this way on the internet, so I'm just putting it out there. This is how I felt and how I'm feeling now and how happy I am, because I think fear before this kind of stuff is sort of normal, even if it's to my extent. Just do think about it. I have been out for 4 years. It's not that I just decided, oh, lol, I'm transgender. I am aware. I am aware of myself. It's just the fact that it was nearing that scared me. Just want to have that said.
It's the day before my top surgery, and I am no longer scared. I don't know how that works. I think I've been so out of it that I just don't feel much, including not being scared, which I guess in this situation is kind of good. I got a clean-shaven face, unfortunately, because I have to have that, I don't know. But yeah, tomorrow, less than 12 hours, it's gonna happen. I am very excited. I don't know much regarding what's gonna happen. I don't have much knowledge, and I think in this situation, I'm glad to be ignorant, because I'm probably gonna suffer later. But I won't know that now, so I won't stress about it now. God, I don't know how I feel. This is wild. I just have to grab my camera and say something, because, you know, my top surgery is tomorrow. Insane.
And then the actual day of my surgery arrived. I was scared shitless. Sitting in the car with my mom, driving all the way to near, like, Amsterdam. I don't live in Amsterdam, that was a long drive. And I was just fucking terrified, but I was just silent in the car, staring out the window, preparing myself for whatever was about to happen, because I am a person who likes being ignorant. I didn't know shit about the procedure. They wrote it down in specific detail in the form they gave me. Fuck no, I ain't reading all that. I don't want to know what's gonna happen. Cut me open, remove the tits. I don't want to know. Which may be a bad thing, but I'm so scared of surgery. Like, if you're gonna tell me exactly what you're gonna do, I'm gonna freak out more. So I'm like, I'm happy being ignorant, thank you very much. So I get there, they let my mom stay downstairs, and immediately I get moved upstairs, which my mom was pissed about because she wanted to be there with me, and I'm so happy they kept my mom downstairs because that would just spike my anxiety through the roof. The only thing I didn't think about is I didn't charge my phone. My surgery was 2 hours from then or something, so I was sitting there in the hospital bed without a phone, without entertainment, without anything. I was just sitting there, staring and being scared. But then they put the, like, needle thing in my arm, I don't know what it's called, to eventually put me under. And I'm scared of needles. And I wasn't allowed to eat before this, obviously, because it's a surgery. So I passed out. I have never passed out in my life. That was the first time I've ever passed out. It felt really weird. But they stabbed the needle. I'm like, can I really not have a water or eat? And they're like, no, you're having surgery. I'm like, okay, and then I just gone. Anyways, I woke up again. Everything was good. And then my surgeon, they told me, was pretty fast. So sometimes she was done earlier, so my surgery was slightly earlier. So then I see my surgeon walking up to me. I had never seen her before in my life. I had no idea what this woman looked like. So I had no idea that was my surgeon. She closed the curtain thingy. She draws where she's gonna cut me open. And here's the thing, again, I didn't read anything about the procedure, I didn't look anything up, maybe this is common knowledge. I didn't know they cut above the nipple. Like, she was drawing lines, I was like, bitch, where's these lines supposed to go? They cut above the nipple, snipped that shit off, put the nipples to the side apparently. Didn't know that. I thought they were gonna cut under the tit, whatever. That was something that shocked me. I was like, what are you doing? What kind of arts and crafts project is this? Anyways, she draws the shit on me. She says, just walk with me. We go to the surgery room. I lay down. I get strapped down like Jesus on the fucking cross, and I'm terrified. I am fucking shitting myself. So if I'm scared, I'm gonna say whatever I'm thinking. Scared me is fully unmasked me. So I go, I'm scared. I'm really scared. And my doc just kind of laughs about this, because she's really sweet, but she's also very, like, I don't know, she seems as such a casual thing, which is understandable for her. It's her job to just constantly do this. So she's like, it's fine. And I'm like, no, it's not fine. I'm really scared. I'm gonna die. I'm scared. Kill me now. I'm scared. So they're like, okay, it's fine. I don't realize that while I'm being strapped down like fucking Jesus, that they already hooked me up to the fucking sleepy drugs. I wasn't aware. So this doctor leans over me to, like, strap down my left arm. And I didn't know they hooked me up to the sleepy drugs already. She has, like, a tattoo, like a full sleeve of, like, colorful tattoos. So I look over with her while her arm is over in front of my face, and I go like, whoa, your tattoos are so cool. And then I'm gone. That's the last thing I said. That's the last fucking thing I said, and then I woke up without tits. While waking up, I realized they probably gave me too many sleepy meds, because I kept waking up, falling back asleep, waking up, falling back asleep. And honestly, this day was worse than the entire recovery of my surgery. I'd gladly do over the entire recovery of my surgery 5 more times, so that means never feeling that like that one day again, because that was hell. Being sleepy doesn't sound that bad. Until it is, I fall asleep for 5 minutes and I stay awake for 10 seconds. Like, I could not. They tried to sit me up, I would just fall asleep sitting up. They tried to move me, I would just fall asleep again. It was so fucking annoying. They kept feeding me shit. I kept falling asleep half with food in my mouth. I couldn't stay up. But eventually, the fucking clinic had to, like, close or whatever they were doing. So they were like, oh, you're fine. You can go to your hotel already. All is well. And I was like, okay. And then I just fell asleep in my mom's car again. And I know this isn't normal because there were 2 other trans guys in that surgery room who were fine. Like, there was this guy who I briefly had a convo with who was just, like, chilling out, eating his ice cream. He was good. He was just walking around and having a conversation. The other one was also just good, having a conversation. And I couldn't just... And that guy that was talking to me woke up, not before me, woke up after me. What do you mean? Why was I feeling this way? I genuinely think they're giving me too many sleepy drugs. Anyways, I had to go to my hotel then. The reason I was staying in a hotel is because I still had drains in my sides, which are just these annoying tubes that drain the blood out of you so it's not stuck in your body. I'll show a picture here. If you're not too fond of blood, click to this timestamp. I will remove it then. Drains. They were fucking annoying, but luckily I only had to keep them in one day. If there was a certain amount of blood in there, they would let me keep them in longer. Luckily, I was fine. They could take them out the next day. I heard from a lot of trans people that taking their drains out is the worst part of top surgery. Like, the rest doesn't hurt, but just the feeling of that fucking tube being dragged down your chest hurts like hell. I was super scared of that because that's what I heard from every single person I had watched a top surgery video of. I go there, I tell them I'm scared as shit, and they're like, oh, it's fine. There was a doctor on my left, doctor on my right, they popped them out at the same time. It was just a pop noise, and I felt nothing. It wasn't even uncomfortable or anything. It didn't hurt, it wasn't uncomfortable. I probably was just really lucky, but something that I was so scared for hurt so little. I was like, oh, that was it? They're gone? All right. And then we move. Getting my drains taken out was also the first time I was going to see my chest, like, right after surgery. It was, however, 1 day post-op, so it was going to look a little rough. As much as my surgeon's amazing, it was 1 day post-op. So I was a little nervous, because obviously, and the entire time after surgery, I had this thick, like, thing around my chest, so it still looked like I sort of had tits. So getting that taken off was honestly, like, insane to be able to see that I was actually flat. And it was really scary. And I still had these, like, sponges over my nipples, so it wasn't the full results, obviously. But honestly, that moment that they took the bandages off before getting my drains taken out, I was gonna cry. I almost cried. I did. Testosterone still makes me be able to cry less. But I was so happy. I was like, this is me. I can breathe. It is okay. Everything is fine. And my surgeon took some pictures. I'll show them here. It looks a little rough, but, you know, I was fine. And then I went to my uncle's house, who was then going to take care of me for the coming week. On my way home, I was honestly just super scared of my painkillers wearing off, because I heard from everyone that the first 3 days after top surgery are hell. Regardless of how you feel the rest of your recovery, the first 3 days are going to suck, and you're going to be painful, and you're going to just be able to do nothing, and I was scared. I was really scared because as much as I wasn't feeling much pain yet, I was just mentally preparing for that first period of time. And honestly, just as with getting my drains taken out, I think I was just really lucky. I felt nearly no pain. I was fine. Like, I had these strong painkillers that I was allowed to take twice a day, and then I could take paracetamol every, like, few hours. I think every 4 hours or something. Honestly, I took the strong painkillers for 1 day, and then I took paracetamol for 3 days. That was it. I was fine. I didn't feel any, like, real pain. I was just kind of chilling. I was just kind of really bored. So the entirety of my recovery, I obviously couldn't move much. I was super bored because I'm a person that if I'm not constantly doing something, I will go mental. I need to be able to do things. I need to be able to move. I couldn't do that. So my movement was limited to this, little dino arms. I felt disgusting because with the sponges on my nipples, I wasn't allowed to shower. Like, they couldn't get wet, so I looked disgusting. But they couldn't get wet, and the nipple sponges were allowed to be taken off a week after surgery, which was another thing I was super scared about. We drove back to the surgery place, and they were gonna take the nipple sponges off, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna hurt so bad. I didn't see anything about this online, but I was like, this is probably gonna hurt so bad because they have to take all the stitches out and stuff. I was stupid. I have no feeling in my nipples. So if I have no feeling to begin with, how am I gonna feel pain there? I didn't think this through, so I get there super scared. I'm like, is this gonna hurt? She's like, you don't feel anything there. Like, they're senseless. So my entire car ride freak out was for nothing. It just felt a little bit uncomfortable. Like, it felt a bit weird. No pain, because again, you can't feel shit on your nipples because they take them off and fucking reattach them. There's nothing that you can really feel there. So I was fine. I drive back home and all is well. I could finally take my first shower, which was the scariest thing ever, because this is back when I could just move my arms to wash myself a little bit. So finally, my first shower, I could do it myself. And in retrospect, I definitely should not have been showering myself, because the fact that you can move your arms doesn't mean you should. I was moving way too much, way too constant, and my scar is really stretched out. It just so happens that I really don't care. Like, my scar looks like shit. I don't care. But I know for a lot of people it does matter. So if you just had surgery, and if you're like, oh, I can move a lot, maybe make sure you find a balance where you can move with no pain. Make sure it doesn't hurt. Because I was like, oh, I can move my arm like this, but it hurts a lot. I'm going to keep doing it. Don't do that. Don't be stupid. Don't be me. But if you can just, like, don't keep like this. I know a lot of people that stay with their dino arms and then they can't get rid of it. Like, it will take them months to be able to regain movements. Kind of move a little bit. Don't do what I did, and all should be well. Your scars shouldn't be stretched out like hell. Anyways, back to the topic of showering. I was super scared because I had to wear my post-op binder 24/7 for a full month. So the only time I would take it off is for my little 10-minute shower. So the first time I locked the door, I stood in front of the mirror, I take my post-op binder, I have a whole photo shoot because I'm like, bitch, that's my chest right there. Fucking nipple revealing out, everything. The nipples, however, did look disgusting because they were still fully scabbed. Like, there's an entire scab over your nipple that's gonna fall off within the coming month. But I was just looking at myself and I was like, this feels so right. This is so correct. And I was just so happy looking at myself. And I was like, oh, shower. I need to put my post-op binder back on. I get under the shower, I do my thing, I'm done, I pat my chest dry. And then here's the most annoying part about the showering. Because my surgeon told me I had to sort of like air dry myself, right? So I pat my chest dry because don't be too rough on the poor little scars. And then you lay down for half an hour, which is boring as fuck. Again, I'm a person who likes to do things. So I would just lay down, and then I had to fucking put this cream shit on my scars and put these, like, thingies over my nipples, I don't know what they're called, to make it heal faster. But it was boring as fuck, and then I had to, like, get the post-op binder back on, which was a whole hassle, which most of the time my uncle had to help with, because that's another thing. I don't think I could have put on my post-op binder myself for the first, like, 2 weeks. If my uncle wasn't there, I have no idea what I would have done. Because it doesn't, I had, like, one with, like, the little hooks, and it didn't work. It was just really annoying. It kept, like, snapping open. Also, they stretched out really fast. That's another thing I wasn't expecting with my way too expensive post-op binders. They stretched. I had, like, I think I had a small and I had a medium. The medium fit perfectly immediately, but then it stretched out after, like, wearing it for 2 days. So then I wore in a small on the biggest setting, because I had ones with, like, 3 settings. That was fine, and then it was stretched out in a few days, and then I put it on the second setting. Stretched out. First setting, stretched out. Luckily, I had another S laying around, but it stretched out so fast, and I felt like it wasn't doing much anymore if I wore it for multiple days, and even putting it in a wash, it just didn't stretch back, you know? I don't know. That's another thing I haven't heard people really talk about. Like, maybe it's just the post-op binders I bought, but they were really expensive, so I don't know. Whatever. After 1.5 weeks of having spent time at my uncle's place, I decided, you know what, I'm ready to go home. I was probably not very ready to go home, but I just really missed being on my own, because I'm a person who just prefers my alone time. As much as I love my family, and I'm eternally grateful I could stay there after surgery, it's just, I wanted to be on my own. So I'm like, yo, can you bring me home? I think I can do it. So he drives me back home. I realized my front door was too heavy, because again, I couldn't put much pressure on my arms or use them much. So I had to have someone help me open my front door every time I wanted to go in and out of the house. But it's fine. I lived. He helped me move all my stuff upstairs. I was reunited with my bed. And all was well. I finally could be on my PC again, which was great. I did, however, realize that my keyboard was too high up. So I could literally be on my PC for a little bit until my arms really started hurting, because it would literally stretch my scar, and I really shouldn't have been doing that. But it was fine. I had to take, like, a daily shower and, like, take care of my things until it was ready. I did also realize that my body heals really slowly. If you look up times online of, like, how long recovery process is, don't listen. Don't listen to it. It's fine. A lot of the things were like, oh, you should be healed with this in 3 weeks. I was healed in, like, a month. Or, like, 1.5 months. Like, my scab of my scar didn't fall off until, like, I think a month. My nipple scabs were on there for so fucking long. Like, I think 3-4 weeks longer than the internet said they should have been. I texted my surgeon about this. It should all be good. And again, I think a really important thing is being able to have contact with your surgeon as well. Like, if you think something is wrong, because I had, like, multiple, like, not complications, but things I was scared about were going wrong, I just texted my surgeon about it. I'm like, hey, my nipple randomly started bleeding. Is that okay? She's like, that's fine. That kind of happened. I'm like, hey, I feel like I'm going to pass out when I wear my post-op binder. Is that cool? She's like, put it looser. Just be able to, like, text or call your surgeon or anyone regarding your surgery clinic, because they know what they did to your chest. They know the best, probably. So that was really nice to have. And it was just slowly recovering and doing things and slowly getting my own life back where I could do things in my own room. That was just really nice. And I also had a few people that had surgery at the same time or near the same time that could help me through it, that we could all help each other through it. And that was really nice. And slowly I just started being a person again, and that was so great. That was the greatest feeling. And I could start laying on my chest again, I could start laying on my stomach, I could start playing guitar again. It was just all good. While my recovery was progressing, I did notice I had a small complication on the left side of my chest. I had a little dog ear, and I was super, like, distraught over this, because I was like, I already thought my gender therapy, I can't get, like, a referral from this. I don't know what to do. I'm super scared. I don't want to look like this forever. Like, I'm super happy I got top surgery, but this small thing was just really fucking upsetting me. And I was like, what if I'm gonna have to live like this forever? Or, like, what if I can only get this, like, redone after a year? I will feel super horrible throughout all summer. Even though it was such a small thing. It was really just my brain making it worse than it was. But then I had to send my surgeon pictures of my chest, which I forgot to do. So instead of having it like 6 weeks after surgery, I did like 10 weeks after surgery. So I sent them the pictures while still being super upset over this dog ear. And they call me back and they're like, hey, we see you have like a small dog ear on one side. You want to get that fixed? This is the date you can do that. Thank the Lords. Again, my surgery clinic was lovely. Everyone was so nice, so sweet, calmed me down so much. So I'm super scared because I'm going to have like surgery number 2. So my small revision surgery, again, it was basically nothing. So I go to the clinic again, they're just like super chill. They're like, oh, just lay down. And this was a thing that was done while awake. And that was really scary because I've never had something like that done. But they just numb your entire side, obviously. And she was just talking like me. She was literally talking like this was like a hairdress appointment and she was cutting my hair, but she was fucking slicing my skin open. She's like, hey, how was your day? What are you gonna do? Do you have any plans for the summer? I'm like, what are you are slicing my skin open right now? But again, super lovely. I like that she did that. That was really nice to just be able to talk to someone while basically being sliced open. I looked away, obviously, the entire time because it was really scary. And they were gonna do both sides, but then realized that only one side was really necessary. So instead of having like a half-hour surgery, it was basically like 15-20 minutes. So I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I did look over and there was so much blood. I was so happy I didn't look while it was happening, but it was just a really weird feeling because obviously it didn't hurt because I was numb, but I could feel everything that was happening. Like, it was just a numb feeling. It was like someone was like kind of like pinching you the entire time, and I could feel like her sewing me back up. It was really gross. I'm sorry for that visual, but it just felt really weird. And then I was on my way and I could go back home, and literally it only took 20 minutes and I've not been happier now because that stupid small complication was just such an easy fix. And then I had like half a week of basically painlessness recovery for that as well, and I was fine again. Once I was fully recovered, I did try on more of my clothes again, and I did have one problem. None of my clothes fit. Literally none of my clothes fit. It's a huge problem because I own a lot of clothes, I own a lot of merchandise because I love buying merch, but it doesn't fit me right anymore because I'm a person, and I think a lot of people are going to relate to this, that bought a lot of bigger clothes. Like, I would standardly get things that were like 1 to 2 sizes bigger just to hide my chest, but now that I can see what I actually look like, it doesn't fit me right anymore. Like, it looks really weird. There are some clothes where I can get away with this, or things that I hold as nostalgic value that I'll still wear just because. But honestly, I had to sell or give away a lot of my clothes because it just didn't fit. And that really sucks. So that's something I really didn't take into account, but I would just say, if you're thinking of buying clothes and you know you're gonna have top surgery soon, maybe think about the size difference if you do have a bigger chest and you are actively hiding that with clothes, because I didn't think about that. And even while recovering, I bought clothes online in the wrong size because I wasn't thinking that I obviously don't fit that anymore, because throughout recovery I was wearing button-ups, so I couldn't really see a difference because I was just wearing button-ups, not t-shirts, and it is a thing to think about, basically. But yeah, here we are now, 6 months post-op, and I've never felt this free and this happy in my own body, and I can't wait for summer to go swim and do whatever I want, fully shirtless, because you know what? This is my body, and I'm happy, even if my scar looks a bit fucked. But yeah, that was it for today. It was a bit personal, so please don't be too mean in the comments. I really let my heart out for this one. Thank you for sticking around. I hope this could be somewhat helpful to someone, and otherwise I just hope you enjoyed. I love you all. Bye-bye.